What if you gave up wealth, power, and comfort, all in pursuit of one question? How can we end human suffering? This is not a story of a prince who sought glory. It is the journey of a man who walked away from privilege to seek truth, and in doing so reshaped the spiritual course of millions. Born around 563 BCE in Lumbini, present-day Nepal, Siddhartha Gautama entered the world into a royal household. His father, determined to shield him from every hardship, surrounded him with opulence and distraction. Musicians, dancers, and lavish feasts filled the palace grounds. The young prince knew only health, beauty, and abundance. But curiosity is not so easily contained. Despite his father's efforts to keep him sheltered, Siddhartha ventured beyond the palace walls. There, for the first time, he witnessed the frailty of the human condition. An elderly man, stooped and trembling, a sick individual, ravaged by disease, a lifeless body carried to the funeral pyre. These encounters shook him. How could life, so vibrant and full, lead inevitably to such pain and decay? Then he saw a serene ascetic, a wandering seeker devoted not to material gain, but to understanding. The seed of inquiry had been planted. Haunted by these revelations, Siddhartha could no longer reconcile the pleasures of the palace with the impermanence of life. At the age of 29, he made a decision that would define his existence. One night while his wife, Yasodhara, lay asleep beside their newborn son, Rahula, Siddhartha stood silently at the threshold of their chamber. The bond of family tugged at his heart, but his longing to understand the nature of suffering outweighed every attachment. With deliberate steps, he walked away from his title, his comforts, his identity as a prince, choosing exile over ease. Clothed in simple robes and carrying only a begging bowl, Siddhartha embarked on the life of a wandering ascetic. He sought out the wisest teachers of the era, learning meditation techniques and philosophical systems from renowned masters like Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. Although he attained high levels of meditative absorption under their guidance, he sensed these teachings stopped short of the full truth. Determined to break free from the chains of ignorance, Siddhartha turned to radical self-discipline. He joined a group of 5 ascetics and embraced severe austerities, eating so little that his body wasted away, holding his breath until he collapsed, meditating under the scorching sun and in freezing winds. His flesh clung to his bones, his veins stood out like cords beneath his skin. Yet clarity eluded him. One day, after nearly starving himself to death, Siddhartha fainted while trying to bathe in the river. A young village woman named Sujata offered him a simple meal of rice and milk. In accepting this nourishment, he realized that self-torture was no more the answer than indulgence had been. Neither extreme offered freedom. What was needed was balance, a middle way. With renewed strength, Siddhartha made his way to Bodh Gaya. There, beneath the sheltering branches of a fig tree, he seated himself cross-legged upon the earth. He vowed not to rise until he uncovered the roots of human distress. Days turned into nights. Mara, the personification of temptation, assailed him with visions of fear, desire, and doubt. Demons hurled weapons of illusion. Phantom daughters danced seductively before him. But Siddhartha's focus did not waver. Through unwavering attention and profound meditation, Siddhartha penetrated the depths of existence. He saw the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, driven by craving and ignorance. In that silent, luminous moment, the 4 noble truths revealed themselves. Suffering is real. It arises from desire and attachment. It can cease, and there is a way that leads to its cessation. That way was the Eightfold Path. Right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path did not call for blind faith. It demanded self-inquiry, ethical living, and mental discipline. From that moment, Siddhartha became known as the Buddha, the awakened one. But enlightenment was not his endpoint. It marked the beginning of a new mission, to share these insights, not to hoard them. Rejecting isolation, he travelled on foot from village to village across northern India. Wherever people gathered, whether in the courts of rulers or the huts of farmers, the Buddha spoke. His message was not cloaked in mystery or reserved for the elite. He welcomed everyone, men and women, rich and poor, scholars and labourers. He taught that salvation did not require bloodline, caste, or priestly mediation. What mattered was ethical conduct, compassion, and mindful awareness. He encouraged questioning, urging his listeners to test his words against their own experience. Throughout his life, the Buddha remained a wanderer, gathering disciples but never clinging to status. His growing community, the Sangha, formed the early heart of what would later become one of the world's great spiritual traditions. For over 45 years, he shared the Middle Way, guiding countless seekers toward peace of mind and freedom from suffering. His teachings crossed borders and generations, not through force, but through the quiet power of insight. In his 80th year, while continuing his journey as he always had, the Buddha fell gravely ill after eating a meal offered by a blacksmith named Kunda. Sensing the approach of death, he gathered his followers one last time. His final instruction was simple: be a lamp unto yourselves. Strive with diligence. On the full moon day of Vesak, around 483 BCE, Gautama Buddha passed away in Kushinagar, India, leaving behind not riches, but a path that continues to illuminate the human search for peace.